Is this not the most perfect offseason we've had, aside from the offseason in which you get Bo Nix in the draft, the sixth quarterback off the board? Are you kidding me, guys? Cooper Kupp is destined to be a Denver Bronco. I'm calling it right now. He will sign with the Denver Broncos. It makes the most sense. And I think we have the most to offer out of the other contending teams that might be vying for his services. We'll get into it. We'll also break down, hey, the numbers the guys selected too. Hufanga, Greenlaw, Evan Engram, the Joker. Don't let anybody tell you that Evan Engram is not the Joker. We'll get to it, but he is going right into, owning being Sean Payton's Joker. So now I feel like I can actually say that term because Evan Engram, that's his persona now, is the Joker based off of what he posted on Twitter. Y'all be sure, smash that like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to be honest. I had to clickbait this, man. I needed to do it because it was fun. So I hope you guys will forgive me. Kupp will be a Bronco as a shot in the dark? I don't think so. I'm going to lay it out for you why I think that this thing is going to happen. So first and foremost, we had, let me just pull up my bookmark tweets, guys. Let's just get to it. And okay, we can just start with this, right? Numbers on the jerseys held by Broncos signees. Evan Ingram's going number 1. That's huge. No longer is it held by an overrated special teams player that's like number 6 on the depth chart at the cornerback position. It's now going to be used as a top weapon, as the Joker. Evan Engram, baby. Dre Greenlaw sticking with 57. Talanoa Hufanga going to number 9. I love that. 9 is one of my favorite numbers, along with 23. Trent Sherfield going with number 5. We'll let the special teams ace, we'll let it slide. Hopefully, he plays up to standard in that single-digit number. Now, let me go ahead and get into my bookmarks, if I can find them correctly. Right, here we go. Broncos. Denver Broncos 365 at Daily Broncos. Shout out for this tweet. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter on Altitude Radio today, this was 2 hours ago, guys, Cooper Kupp would be interested in joining the Denver Broncos if given the choice. If given the choice. Schefter stated, if Kupp had his way, I think he would like to be in Denver. Let me just repeat that. If Kupp had his way, I think he would like to be in Denver. I think that'd be one of the places that would appeal to him. I think if Kupp had his way, I think he would like to be in Denver. That's coming from Adam Schefter, one of the most plugged in guys throughout the entire NFL community. That's saying something. So at worst, we're one of the top contenders for him, but I think this even goes to show that we're probably at the top of the list. No doubt about it. And Jordan Schultz, retweeted here by Stephen Dwyer. Jordan Schultz saying that Cooper Kupp's going to make this decision very quickly. It's not going to be drawn out. Kupp has interest from at least 5 teams. Now, Adam Schefter did say last night that the other teams that were vying for his services, one of them was the Seattle Seahawks. There could be a Dallas Cowboys connection, of course, with his old receiving coach from college now being at Dallas. The Buffalo Bills are in need of another receiver with Amari Cooper gone. But guys, LA Chargers, they could be they could be an interesting option because he wouldn't have to move, could stay in LA. But let's talk about the likability factor. Let's talk about that in terms of the head coaches in the best fit. All right, Jim Harbaugh, he's kind of weird. He doesn't exactly institute a very exciting brand of offense. He just doesn't. It's very smash mouth. I think it's very effective, but it's not incredibly wide receiver friendly or fun, right? And I think that also had to do with the deal, with Evan Engram choosing to come out here after hearing both pitches. Then we can get to Seattle. Now, He's from Spokane, Washington, same state. His wife's family's up there as well. But Seattle, new quarterback, Sam Darnold. Their coach, McDonald, is a defensive-minded guy. They're bringing in Kubiak, Clint Kubiak, as the offensive coordinator, but there's just a lot of moving pieces there. I think Seattle's more in a transition rather than with them trying to contend, and so I think that's a strike against them. Buffalo, they're absolutely contending, playing with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, being Josh Allen, right? But they have cycled through different offensive coordinators, and they just can't get it done. It's kind of like what the Niners have been the last few years, whereas like it's a bunch of guys that lose games and they choke, as sad as that is. Now, granted, hey, you're talking a lot for a Broncos fan that, hey, this is the first time that we made the playoffs in like close to 10 years. Don't get me wrong. I understand. But also, guys, it's Buffalo. Who wants to live in Buffalo? And I honestly think Buffalo, if they're going to get Cooper Kupp, they're going to not only have to outbid the Broncos, which I don't think is possible given cap situation, but they're going to have to overbid significantly for somebody like him. And yeah, I guess that might be it. Let me know some of the other contenders that might be out there for Cooper Kupp. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be one. Vegas, again, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why would you choose to go to the team in the AFC West with the worst quarterback, right? It doesn't make any sense. But Sean Payton, incredibly cerebral, incredibly fun offensive style when he's got the weapons, right? Cooper Kupp, incredibly cerebral. Imagine him on the field along with Evan Engram. We get a running back that has some juice. I think that you can line Cooper Kupp up in the slot. You can also have him still be one of those outside wide receivers, and he's smart enough, guys, to where he's going to be able to still get open. All right. I mean, the man still had a Darius Slayton type year last year, 700 yards over that, 6 touchdowns. You know, he missed some time, but hey, for the next year or two, would you rather have Darius Slayton or Cooper Kupp? I think for the same price, let's say it's for around $12 million or so, give me Cooper Kupp. Give me Cooper Kupp. I think that would be phenomenal. And you might say, okay, the injuries or whatever, this is appealing to Cooper Kupp because we have done an incredible job of keeping guys healthy ever since Sean Payton has come here. He blew out the training staff. You got the Walton Penner group that has now taken over, and they're totally investing in strength and conditioning and nutrition on a whole other level than compared to what we were with the trust prior to this. And you've seen it. The soft tissue injuries, the hamstring injuries, they're gone. Guys are staying healthy. They're durable. And I think that that is a very, very big point, or it's just something big that goes in our favor to appeal to Cooper Kupp. Just say that. So on top of that, the Broncos ownership, just the majority owners, have a net worth. Rob Walton has a net worth of like over $110 billion. I think that's like at least like three or four times the next richest owner. I know Stan Kroenke, I think his net worth is around like somewhere between 15 to 20 billion, right? So that's like 6x where the Kroenke family is at. LA Rams, right? We can structure a contract in which he is getting a ton of money up front in a signing bonus. He gets more money now. He gets more money tomorrow when he signs on the dotted line than any other team is going to be willing to pay. I think that was probably also a reason why you saw Evan Engram come with the come here instead of the Chargers. I mean, what did he get? 16 out of that $23 million guaranteed, and probably a large amount of that is going to be in the signing bonus that he signed today. That hits his account today. We essentially have infinity money where we can offer as much signing bonus as we would like to. Jerry Jones does not like to do any of that. He loves to nickel and dime every single player that he's got. And sometimes it really bites him in the butt because then he ends up paying overpaid contracts. But Buffalo, these are not cash-rich owners at all. I mean, the city of Buffalo is having to put towards a good portion of public financing for this new stadium, and it doesn't even have a roof on it. So you can't even get the most out of it in non-football, season. It's crazy. Do they want to spend a large signing bonus on somebody like Cooper Kupp? We'll have to see. And granted, some of these teams could choose to do it, right? But it's a bigger risk. It's a bigger thing. It hurts a little bit more than what it hurts for the Denver Broncos. If you're wanting to go to a contending team right now, again, Seattle Seahawks have been rumored to be one of those top destinations. No, man. No. Seattle has no future in contending this year, next year. Our Denver Broncos do. We're going to have a top 5 defense this year. Heck, we were fringe top 5 last year, and all we've done is added pieces. And we did that with an offense that only averaged, I think, 23, 24 points a game, something like that. Now we're adding Evan Engram because, guys, we didn't have a tight end. We didn't have a tight end last year. We had the worst running game in the NFL with one of the best offensive lines. So we're going to upgrade the running back room. We have a tight end. We have 7 draft picks finally this year. It makes sense. We got $10 to $15 million left in cap space. Evan Ingram's cap hit is only $7 million this year. So let's say you sign Cooper Kupp to a 2-year, $25 million deal with like $18 million guaranteed. You could even sign him to a 3-year deal. We're able to do that. We got $30 million in dead money coming off the books next year, while Bo Nix is still on a rookie contract. The Seattle Seahawks are paying a lot more in the future for their quarterback. No doubt about it. The Buffalo Bills are paying Josh Allen a heck of a lot more. And again, you're going to an offensive team with an offensive head coach who lives to get guys like Cooper Kupp open, right? It makes too much sense. Jim Harbaugh is not an offensive guru. I mean, he does have good offenses, but he's not out there calling plays. He's not designing plays, all of that. No. Denver, it's a beautiful place to live. I think with where he's from, where he has spent time, he would absolutely love this area. So you come out here, you make more money, you get more money instantly than all these other teams vying after him, and you get to live in one of the most beautiful areas in the country. To me, it makes sense. And I mean, again, you got weapons all around you where you're going to get open. Evan Engram, Courtland Sutton. We'll see who he had in the draft, but guys like Devon Vele, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, these guys all took a nice step throughout the season this year. And I think we're going to see development with them going into year 2, in Marvin Mims' case, year 3. But man, I think we're even at the place right now with our cap situation to where, again, we can pay and we can, quote unquote, overpay a little bit with market value, just because of how well we are set up with the cap over the next 4 years. We have very little void money. If Cooper Kupp were to be one of those guys that we would just want to throw a void year or 2 onto in order to bring him in here for a small cap number, because we're not doing it with every guy like the Saints, we can do that. George Payton, Sean Payton, they're a great yin and yang to where they really balance each other out. We have plenty of options to get this thing done. But the most important thing is that Cooper Kupp is more valuable to this offense than he is to some of these other teams that don't value offense as much as a Sean Payton led team does. Again, you don't want to be catching passes from Sam Darnold up in Seattle where that team is in a ton of transition. You can still earn money for another contract coming here to Denver too. And if he's somebody that wants to play into his mid-30s, this isn't a decision you're making purely on, where do I just want to be? Where do I want to spend the last years before I retire? No, Cooper Kupp is one of those guys who, again, he comes here, the training staff gets him right, just like the training staff has done for everybody here on the team, essentially, over the last 2 years We've been the healthiest team in the NFL. It makes so much sense. Come out here. We'll keep you healthy. We will keep you productive. And then in 2 or 3 years, you can go earn yourself another great payday. Again, Cooper Kupp, he's not blazing right now, but he's so smart and he's such a good technical route runner that he's going to get open. He's going to get open. I mean, you can already find the film rooms on YouTube about his fit. Shout out to Mile High Sports. Cody Rourke put one out earlier today. It just makes sense. It just makes too much sense for him not to be here. And again, this has been validated by Adam Schefter saying Denver would be one of his top choices. If he had it his way, he would be a Denver Bronco. So let's work this out. And again, we have a team that is in need of some veteran wide receiver presences. Of course, we do have Courtland Sutton, who we're going to be. And guys, I'm just even talking about the cap money that we got right now, $10 to $15 million available. This is even without signing Zach Allen, Courtland Sutton, and Nick Bonino to extensions, which Nick Bonino's extension wouldn't really affect his like $6 million cap hit or so this year. But easily, when we do extend Courtland Sutton and Zach Allen, that could open up as much as $20 million in cap space this year. We could do that. I don't think we'll go that far. It doesn't really make sense. But if you guys look back at my old videos, like going through the spot track, cap manager on the Denver Broncos, the roster manager, all this stuff, you could see with these extensions, you can knock down their cap hits from $19-20 million, even to something like $13 million like that. You cut Damari Mathis, who he has to be cut soon. He's $3 million for like your 5th or 6th best corner on the team. You cut Damari Mathis, that's $3 million instantly towards the cap this year. That's $3 million on top of what we already got. We'll sign a running back, but it's going to be for cheap. I think we will sign a veteran running back. At least I hope so. But yeah, to me, it's a no-brainer. Even if it's a short deal, again, we can afford to pay more than what some of these other teams can afford to pay. And again, like the Cowboys, maybe they're interested, but the Cowboys are an absolute mess right now. I mean, they opened up all that money, like $80 million in cap space, just to spend it on a bunch of busts. It's crazy. We're in position to win. We need a guy like Cooper Kupp to help guys like Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin, Devon Vele, the young receivers that we're bringing in. We'll probably draft a receiver right sometime in the draft. No doubt about it. But I love the fact that we added veterans, leaders on defense that come from winning programs. Now, they haven't won the big game. I'll blame Kyle Shanahan for that one, okay? But they come from winning cultures. They know what it takes to win. And we need some of these guys on offense as well. I would like that. Bo Nix is a winner. He's won wherever he's at, right? But Evan Engram is going to be tremendous, but he hasn't been on the best teams. I think that it would be invaluable right now to have a weapon on the offense that has won a Triple Crown and that has also been to multiple Super Bowls and won a Super Bowl. That type of signing is incredible. Now, again, he's not the 27-year-old Cooper Kupp, but the way that I would look at this is like a DeMarcus Ware signing. If I remember correctly, some people really thought we overpaid for DeMarcus Ware. They were saying that he was washed, but his wisdom, and he didn't win a Super Bowl, but he was incredibly, helpful for a guy like Von Miller, kind of getting to that next level, right? Especially that year. I mean, just incredible. We need some guys like that on the offense. That's how I feel about it. And again, when you look at these moves with what we've done, the fact that we didn't go after a guy like Darius Slayton, who got 3 years, up to $36 million, and he essentially puts up the same stats as Cooper Kupp, essentially. Now he's a little bit younger. So maybe you could say Cooper Kupp doesn't need that type of money. Well, Cooper Kupp has won a lot more than Darius Slayton ever has. And I am a big Darius Slayton fan. But you want to pay for some of that leadership. You want to pay for what he could mean to that room. You want to have, you don't want to go back mid-season and say, man, even though we had the space, I actually wish we did that, because maybe we do have a freak injury at the wide receiver core, and then you're just one other guy shorter, hopefully that's not the case, because again, we've been the most healthy team in the NFL over the last handful of years. But we got the resources, we got the cash, we got the fit. Why not? And you say, hey, you don't want to keep the young guys from developing. If you watched this team last year, that guys like Troy Franklin and Devon Vele, Marvin Mims, these guys could really benefit from playing behind a guy like Cooper Kupp for a couple years. I think so. And in the playoffs, you want guys that have been there, that have been through it, that understand what it takes. We need some guys like that on offense that have been through it. As much as I love our offense right now, we haven't had guys that have been through it on offense. No. I'm trying to name them. Mike McGlinchey. Is that it right now? Our right tackle? Courtland Sutton's got that one playoff game that we had last year. He's been on the team for a while. To me, it just makes too much sense. I think it's low risk. Totally. We got no dead money, and the cap is about to explode even further here in like a year or two when the new media rights deal is done. So let's say you build in a void year for somebody like this, like an exception to keep his cap hit low for the next few years while Bo Nix is still on that rookie deal. Like, to me, it's a no-brainer. And I mean, say we draft a guy like Matthew Golden or Jack Besh, Jaden Higgins. You don't think that they would tremendously benefit from having Cooper Kupp in the locker room? To me, it's just a no freaking brainer. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, guys, I'll get to a few of your comments here in just a minute. I'll cherry pick some of them. If you want to ensure I read your comment, you can send me a cup of coffee on Super Chat. I think it's like $1.99 or whatever. But yeah, guys, I'm throwing it here in the bottom left corner. And smash that like if you agree with me. But I think we're going to be the AFC West champs this year. I honestly feel that way. I know the Chargers finished ahead of us, but I think it's an indictment, man, on the Chargers that Evan Engram chose Bo Nix and Sean Payton over Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. I think it's an indictment. And you look at what Denver has done in free agency right now compared to the Chargers. One of the Chargers' biggest moves, bringing back a washed Mike Williams, bringing back like a 34-year-old Denzel Perryman? What? They signed Najee Harris, which I'm a Najee Harris fan. I like Najee Harris. But you could argue that wasn't the best spending of funds for where they're at. They had a decent amount of turnover on defense and on the defensive line. They might have more holes than what we got, or definitely than what we got. And the Chiefs, we don't even need to talk about that. We know. Hey, Marquee Sports Denver, let's go. Thank you so much for the $10.01 super chat. Thank you very much. Y'all go subscribe to Marquee Sports Denver. He collaborates with me all the time. Kodiak Broncos, I threw his video in the description of my video here because he just put out his top 3 reasons why he's a fan of this Evan Engram signing. He also put out a film room yesterday that absolutely cooked on why Hufanga is a huge upgrade over PJ Locke. When PJ Locke is allowing guys like Gus Edwards to go for long touchdowns on him, breaking his ankles, Gus Edwards And he's allowing Geno Smith to run for like 35-yard touchdowns, man. You know we had to make an upgrade. PJ Lott, he's a guy, again, that I don't want to cut him. I think he's terrific as that third safety right now, and he can still develop. But if, let's say, you needed to make some space, again, probably the two easiest things to do right now: cut Damari Mathis, saves $3 million. You could cut Alex Singleton or bring him back on like a Tim Patrick close to vet minimum type of deal, because he is 32, gonna be 32, coming off an ACL. That would save about probably $3.5 to $4 million if you do kind of a new contract, not a restructure, but just tear it up, do a new deal instead of outright cutting him. And yeah, you could cut PJ Locke and save like $4 or $5 million too. And if you do those three moves and you want to guarantee Cooper Kupp's salary, what is that? I mean, that's essentially $12 million right there, right? I mean, it's crazy how easy this can get done. And again, I mean, we're a team on the rise, man. With a rookie quarterback, we made the playoffs, 10-7, baby. And we're going to get our running back. We're going to get a couple. We might even get 3 if you include a free agency signing. There shouldn't be any big glaring areas of weakness like we saw with the offense last year. The offense was incredibly one-dimensional because of our terrible running back room and young receivers playing, honestly, probably a little bit before they're ready, and no tight end at all. Adam Troutman led us in receiving with like less than 200 yards. Adam Troutman's probably ideally your tight end 3, which is what it will probably be this year. Adam Troutman. We're going to draft a guy in the top 4 rounds probably, and then you got Evan Engram. So it's just incredible. I'll get to some of your comments now. Again, really do appreciate it. Do you feel like this is destiny? I sure feel like it's destiny. If you're a fantasy football player and you got Cooper Kupp in like Dynasty or whatever, do not panic. I think Cooper Kupp could be tremendously effective with a Sean Payton and Bo Nix offense. Are you kidding me? And again, Courtland Sutton's going to receive attention. Evan Ingram's going to receive attention. Marvin Mims was an absolute weapon. Cooper Kupp isn't going to be dealing with double teams out here like he would maybe in some other places. Was it maybe Jacksonville, if I'm remembering correctly, so that they could be in on Cooper Kupp because of Liam Cohen or whatever? I don't even need to talk about why Jacksonville is not a realistic option for Cooper Kupp. That is just absolutely ridiculous. Yes, Florida, no stadium, but like I said, Cooper Kupp should be thinking beyond this next 3-year deal or so that he signs, 2-3-year deal, about putting himself in position with this contract for another one. Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen out in Duval does not get it done. No. Kupp better not cost a lot. I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to be demanding like crazy money, anything like that, because his cap hit was $20 million. So it's got to be less than that, I would think. Or else you would have seen a team trade for him if the market thought that, well, yeah, they would have acquired $20 million if they had paid for him or traded for him on the cap, if I can speak correctly. Goodness. Adderall's got my mind moving faster than my mouth can talk. But yeah, if the market saw Cooper Kupp as worth $20 million this year against the cap, a team would have traded for him. Nobody did that. He's going to get less than that. And Kupp's got to stay healthy. Yes, that's the biggest thing. And that's why, again, we have that to offer over all these other teams. We keep teams healthy. We're the exact opposite of the San Francisco 49ers that do not invest in training. They do not invest in nutrition. They are you read the NFLPA ratings, they are way behind the curve when it comes to all that. And it's crazy how they just continue to do the same thing over again. Everybody ends up hurt. Now, I bet the Rams probably are a little bit better at the training than the San Francisco 49ers. But all that to say, we have one of the best track records over the last 2 years of doing this since Sean Payton has been here. And this is a team that can get him right. And that was something that sold, I imagine, Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga. I'm sure it had something to do with Evan Engram too, because again, he's a guy that has had injuries on and off throughout his career. Been generally more healthy with Jacksonville, though, compared to the New York Giants. Uh, another team that has struggled to keep guys healthy over the years because I don't think they invest in those things enough. But yeah, this is a huge selling point. Come to Denver, and we will maximize your durability, and we will maximize your longevity remaining in your career. I know, I believe that with no doubts that we can do that for Cooper Kupp. Hey, we got a super chat in here. Hey, Quentin Caldwell, thank you so much for the $5 super. Really appreciate you being with me. Since I started this channel like a year ago, you've always been in here, man. So I really do appreciate it. Means a lot. I'll get to some of your comments. Mark Baker, how much playing time would Kupp take away from our very talented younger players as a determining factor for whether I would want us to sign him? To me, I don't. I think right now, ideally, I would like guys like Devon Vele, Troy Franklin, and Marvin Mims kind of taking supplementary snaps. I think that that's best for their development to have them on the field as part-time players, not essentially starters. Yeah. Now Marvin Mims, I think that he would be that next guy. If we're having 3 wide receivers out there, Marvin Mims, you put him out there with Evan Engram, Cooper Kupp, and Courtland Sutton. I mean, those are 4 really different and dynamic wide receivers out there. And I think, again, a guy like Cooper Kupp could really help Marvin Mims with his route running. That is something that he needs to refine. And I think it's something that it's keeping him from reaching his potential. Some people say, man, this guy could become, maybe if he develops his route running, like a Tyreek Hill one day. Well, why don't we bring in a guy that's a really good route runner to help him out? Now, Kenny Colbert, I can't remember if he was a fantastic route runner when he was playing, right? Just because you were a great route runner, I guess, doesn't necessarily mean you can coach a guy into a great route runner, but I don't think it can hurt. And again, I think that some of the reasons for why we've had like busts in the past over the last 10 years is because we haven't had that true veteran, alpha, borderline, Hall of Fame guy to learn from. We haven't. And I think that mentorship really does help. And I think it means a lot. Yeah. So that's just me. But I can understand, like, if you guys want to see Troy Franklin, like, be a starter this year, or Devon Vele, yeah. But let's say Cooper Kupp is injury prone again, and he only plays 10 games this year. That's totally fine with me too, because again, it would give our younger guys the opportunity to still play while also, hey, still developing for half a season, ramping up to maybe starter level snaps. Troy Franklin, again, I really love a lot of what he has to, what he brings to the table, right? But he needs to develop in his route running a little bit. He needs to develop in even just physically. I think he gives good effort in blocking, but again, he's just still a little small. And he'll get better as time goes on. Devon Vele, I think that there's more to get from him. But again, he's like 27 already. So how much more development is there really? We don't know. Yeah, like, to me, it just seems so obvious. And let's say, guys, you really do want to make a Super Bowl run over the next 3 years while Bo Nix's cap hit is dirt cheap. You need some championship guys on this team. You need some guys that have been there and won it, at least been there. And then ideally have won it. I mean, let's look at 2015. Aqib Talib had been there, right? Who else? Who else did we have? Obviously, Peyton Manning. He had already won one. He had been to a few. There were still a few of our guys, such as Demaryius Thomas or, um, Chris Harris, right? All right, Chris Harris was on that 2013 team. You guys understand what I'm saying. Vaughn, we had that Super Bowl experience. We don't have those guys right now. We just don't. And when we made that run in 2013, we had a guy like Wes Welker too. We had now when I need more names, my mind is just all over the place. Now, if we can't get Cooper Kupp, I don't know if you're meaning Amari Cooper or Cooper Kupp, Rain, but Cooper Kupp, I would definitely be comfortable at $13.5 million a year. Again, if you just wanted him signed for maybe 11 or 12, which I think the market reflects the same for like a Darius Slayton, I can understand that, but I think Cecil or somebody I was listening to earlier today brought up the point of like, are you really going to let $1.5 million be the make it or break it point for a guy like Cooper Kupp, a future Hall of Famer that still has some game left within him? No doubt about it, man. Like whatever offers he's getting, let's not only make it competitive, but let's just make it the obvious choice. The obvious choice. You want to go where you're valued, and I think we can show that more than any other team. Okay, maybe Kupp can share the slot responsibilities with Evan. Yes. And again, you make things, there's just so much versatility and different options. And again, it's almost like hedging your bets a little bit. Again, I have tremendous faith in this training staff to keep these guys healthy compared to a lot of the other teams that they're coming from. But these guys are over 30. Let's just say they are dealing with an injury. It's nice to have a couple guys that that can already just go in there and dominate the slot. You cover yourself. You hedge your bets a little bit. To me, it's a no-brainer. Who's your favorite Broncos signing so far? This is a wonderful question. I'm going to go with the offense, guys. Evan Engram. He's my favorite signing so far. He's 2,000 receiving yards over the last 3 seasons. We haven't had a tight end like this since Julius Thomas in the first few Peyton Manning years. Insane. Again, we were working with a one-dimensional offense this past year. Bo Nix had more pressure put on him than any of the other rookie quarterbacks. If he had some more weaponry and a decent run game like Jaden Daniels, maybe you could have seen him, have a similar year. Still a very, very good year. But we were doing it with one veteran wide receiver and a bunch of rookies, no tight ends, and no running backs. No running backs that were worth a damn, honestly. So, yeah, I love the fact that we've invested in a very crucial piece on offense. Now, I don't really say Joker very much. I've been intentional for that because I hate hearing it all the time. But we just needed a dynamic, versatile offensive weapon that can break a tackle or get down the field, that can be a mismatch on linebackers. None of our tight ends were able to do that last year. Evan Engram can do that instantly. He's a versatile receiving threat. And Courtland Sutton, he would get doubled at some points last year. Things changed a little bit, I think, with the emergence of Marvin Mims in the second half. But hey, imagine now you're going to pay extra attention to Marvin Mims. Well, how about getting wrecked by the route tactician of Cooper Kupp? Because you're also having to pay attention to freaking Evan Engram getting down the field very quickly. Troy Franklin learning from Kupp would be a dream. Yes. And what has been so crucial to this turnaround that we've had since we cut Russell Wilson? It's been the guys that we've brought in. It's been the culture. This is a team that doesn't bring in divas. Cooper Kupp is not a diva. He falls right in line with everybody else that we have here. Now, could we benefit from a guy that's borderline insane like Aqib Talib on this team? Yes, I think we need somebody that might be a little crazy. Maybe Dre Greenlaw is a little bit of that, right? But this is a team that they play for each other. They genuinely like each other. And it's not filled with all that drama. We just don't have it. And that's what I love about bringing in a guy like Cooper Kupp, man. He's the perfect lock. All he does is add to the culture. All he does is add to the locker room. All he does is benefit our younger players. All he does is help Bo Nix. Cooper Kupp is instantly better than any of our younger wide receivers right now. He just is. You can still develop guys and have them on the field part-time rather than, for a guy to develop, you have to have him on the field as a starter. No, that's not. It also raises the floor. It shows the guys truly how hard they have to work, the level of play that they have to be at, the preparation, the level of effort they have to give in practice in order to become a starter. When you only got one guy there, like Courtland Sutton, that has done it like that, you might just take the rest of the starting opportunities for granted. I think a guy like Cooper Kupp, he instantly continues to raise the level of accountability to the offense. I think this is just destiny. It's destiny. It has to happen. I will be genuinely sad if this doesn't happen because I get the feeling about Cooper Kupp right now that I had at this point last year with Bo Nix and his fit in a Sean Payton offense. You guys can go watch it. Go watch those videos. Me and Mark, all these other guys, go back and look at our videos then. We were talking about Bo Nix and why he needed to be a target for the Broncos. I get those same feelings because it's not just, oh, this player is good, but it's the fit. He can respond to hard coaching, but he's also like, if he vibed with Sean McVay, I think he's going to really vibe with Sean Payton. Jim Harbaugh is another energy, and I don't think it's exactly great. And then Jacksonville, all those other things, going to all these teams that don't necessarily have a guy at the top that's calling the shots for the offense. Yeah. To me, it's a no-brainer. Yo, hit that like button and subscribe. Yes. We got 600 people in here, which is absolutely crazy. This is the largest live stream in my life on David Talks Broncos. Really, really does mean a lot. Thank you guys again so much. And it's really cool seeing you guys chat and just talk with each other. I try to bring you Broncos content pretty much every day. So, you guys are great. Anton saying, Dave, let's get the season started. Absolutely. Who's to say we can't win the AFC West this year? I think we had, the Chargers, they don't got a quarterback on a rookie deal. Raiders, their defense is going to be a pain, but they also lost some of their best pieces. Trevon Merrick is out. Rob Spillane out of there as well. We'll have to see. Raiders fans are saying, well, he wasn't worth the money. Merrick, whatever, man. I don't know if was it Jeremy Chin that they brought in there? I don't know. We'll have to see. But and then the Chiefs, they've just lost a lot of guys. The offensive line still very well could be a mess. They're taking a big chance on an generally unproven left tackle. We'll see how it all goes. But I feel great with where we're positioned right now. And not only great about this year, I feel great about the next 2, 3, 4 years. Because, again, the cap is about to freaking explode with this next media deal. And we got a very good quarterback on a rookie scale deal. Celestino Torres, good to see you in the chat, man. Thank you so much. If we get Kupp, will not only boost his self-esteem, but he will levitate the Broncos to another level. Absolutely. Levitate, elevate, it's the same thing. He's a type of guy that raises just the level of play for everybody. Just like when Peyton Manning came here, dude, everybody was just accountable at like a higher level, and they all got better, except if you were Cody Latimer, right? Everybody just got better. He's the type of guy that does that, and probably one of the top guys that can do that. That is not a quarterback, right? Probably one of the top guys that can do that from a skill position standpoint. And don't get this twisted, guys. This isn't an indictment on Courtland Sutton's leadership or anything like that. He's tremendous for this team. But Cooper Kupp is a Hall of Fame player, a Super Bowl champion, a triple crown winner. He's somebody that has come from, an unexpected background at Eastern Washington and has become one of the best wide receivers in many lifetimes, right? At least mine. There's just something different when you bring a person of that caliber into an organization. That's why I overpay for it a little bit, right? Not just looking at the numbers, but it's why he is perfect for where this team is at right now. We need guys to show our young core the way forward. Because Cooper Kupp can come in and say this effort that we gave today or this attention to detail was not at the level that was needed when we won that Super Bowl with the Rams a few years back. And I'm trying to remember right now, but I don't think we have anybody on the team right now that has a Super Bowl ring outside of Sean Payton, right? I mean, and he's not a player. We had Peyton Manning back 10 years ago. Yeah, we had Peyton Manning. He could do that. We don't have somebody like that. And I don't think that that's something that we should just throw away is not important. It's incredibly important, not only to get there, to win a conference championship, but to win the big kahuna. Not very often do you have the opportunity to get a Super Bowl champion. But not only that, but a core player for why they won the Super Bowl, reason why they won, right? He was that dude. And he very well could play a role in winning another one here with the Broncos. So in summary, guys, we can offer Cooper Kupp more signing bonus money if we want to. We can create more cap space if we need to through extensions from Zach Allen or Courtland Sutton, and we can cut guys. Alex Singleton, $4 or $5 million. PJ Lack, $4 or $5 million. Damari Mathis, $3 million. So that's like $12 to $13 million right there that we can open up for him right now. We'll need maybe like $4 million or so for draft picks. Not a big deal. There's still, and like I said, we can probably open up anywhere from, maybe $7 to $20 million with the Zach Allen, Courtland Sutton extensions. We could also extend John Franklin Myers if we wanted to. That would free up his cap hit. I mean, he's a $10 million cap hit right now. We could cut Alex Singleton's salary if he would agree to a reduced salary contract. That would save us probably $3 to $4 million. The Broncos are creative enough to get this done. Man, I would love Nick Chubb. At this point, sure. Like, I'm not really a Nick Chubb fan. But like the other running backs that I wanted, they're all gone. Pretty much. So it's like have your pick of Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, Miles Sanders. Yeah, like I'm fine with any of those. And a veteran, again, in the room that can help show a young rookie running back the level it takes to become elite. Nick Chubb used to be elite. J.K. Dobbins, I guess not so much. But, all these guys could be added on cheap deals. And let's say you bring in 2 rookies that are just absolutely crushing it, already ready. Then, okay. That's fine. We can cut him for essentially no dead money. But, now that I'm talking about Cooper Kupp, it kind of does sell me a little bit more on Nick Chubb, Chris, honestly. Because, again, he's a vet that has played the right way. He's He knows recovery, right? Um, hasn't been with the best organization, which has led to those injuries. And maybe that's something that you can sell him on here too. We get guys right here. We get guys right in Denver. Kupp is a competitor at his very core. Sign him and we'll figure it out for the coming season. Yes, guys, imagine where the Broncos are in position to where they just have too much talent. Wouldn't that be incredible? It's been over 10 years since we've been in that sort of place to where you could argue that we've had too much talent. We're not there yet. You signed Cooper Kupp. And I mean, this would be really cool. Quentin Caldwell, we have not talked about him in a while. Isn't he from Eastern Washington as well? If we get Kupp, then we need to get Efton Chisholm. A guy like Tez Johnson could really benefit from Quentin Caldwell as well. But give me Efton Chisholm over Tez Johnson. I know that's sad. Whoever's available in the 6th, though. I'm not gonna get super pissed about any pick that we make in the 6th round. I'm just not. We got 3 6th-round picks. Marquee Sports saying, according to Jordan Schultz, as Cooper Kupp evaluates his options, sources say he will get the number he wants despite a slow or low receiving market. The Broncos are firmly in the mix, along with at least 4 other teams. We can win this bidding war. There's no doubt in my mind we can win it. Again, I just showed you the different avenues, and I forgot to even mention, again, we can offer him more money up front probably than any other team because we got infinity cash, essentially, like 5 times the next net worth of the next highest ownership group. Signing bonuses are no big deal. You saw this ownership group give so many raises and promotions to so many of the staff members this past year to retain them. They value this culture. They value continuity. They value leadership, keeping the right people. So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense why they wouldn't bid the most they can for Cooper Kupp and making sure they outbid and put together a better package than any other team out there. Kind of like how I felt for, like, obviously I got David Talks buffs for college football, but this is how I felt about the Julian Lewis recruitment. There are other like schools he could have gone to, right? But it just meant more to the Buffs to have him here. That's exactly the feeling I get with Cooper Kupp. It just means more to us than it would other teams. His value is way higher to our team with where we're at than these other teams that are going to go after him. I firmly believe that. Again, that's how I felt about Bo Nix. He wasn't a top quarterback for all the teams in the NFL last year, but Bo Nix meant more to us in the pre-draft process, looking at things with where we were at with Sean Payton. Let's see what else we got. Efton Chisholm is very, very similar to Cooper Kupp. Man, he balled out that whole week at the Shrine. Marquee Sports has a film room on him, by the way. Yeah, the Broncos being the only team named is big. Yeah, it's showing who the number 1 player is right now. No doubt about it. Chris Meek saying, I don't care about Kupp. Bringing these kids up. Sutton is speaking to them. Well, at least I hope he is. And again, like, this isn't an indictment on Courtland Sutton, but again, Cooper Kupp he's just on another level. He's a Hall of Fame player. And I think, while I think Courtland Sutton's route running has improved, this guy's an absolute tactician. This guy's on a whole other level. I just imagine there would be even more benefit in learning they could have from both of them. That's why I really like that idea. Just have both of them. And then you structure the Sutton extension to end when the Cooper Kupp contract ends. Then you can pay one of our young wide receivers if they're ready for that deal, or you can go on free agency here in a couple years and still get a big time weapon. That's how I would like to see things structured. Xanath saying, I don't think you need to win the bidding war. Schefter says Kupp wants to be a Bronco. We just need to be competitive to get him. Hey, wonderfully said. If we can get him on a nice little discount, that would be incredible. I thought Evan Engram was going to sign for more money. I thought Talanoa Hufanga was going to sign possibly for some more money. I definitely thought with the contracts some of these linebackers were getting, Dre Greenlaw was going to be out of the question. But we got him, I think, on a good deal. So, and DJ Jones, when you see what backups, like, well, I guess Javon Kinlaw started, but to see the deal Javon Kinlaw got, to see the deal that a Tershawn Wharton got, DJ Jones took an incredible pay cut or gave us an incredible discount to come back here. And I think that does say a lot. It's hard to imagine that Denver's free agent trades getting any better. I'm so stoked about how things have gone. It's awesome, but Kupp would be wow. I do like our receiving core too, a lot. But I tell you, if Kupp wants to come, then heck, let him come. Yeah, I don't really see a downside to it. I don't. And again, it's not like, as much as I love guys like Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, and Devon Vele, let's remember this in context, man. It's not like any of these guys are first round picks that are just struggling to get on the field because of who's ahead of them, man. Like Marvin Mims was a late second round pick, Troy Franklin, 4th round pick, Devon Vele, 7th round pick. That kind of draft capital does not justify you know, turning away from acquiring more veteran talent. Just doesn't. Again, we haven't been in the position to where we could say we have too much talent in forever. Let's at least get to that spot before we start complaining about these younger guys not being on the field as much. And trust me, I'm a believer in them. I'm a big believer in Troy Franklin. Don't try to tell me he had a bad rookie year. No. But again, he raises the level of play for that whole room, I think. No doubt about it. Is Little Jordan Humphrey still in the mix, or he's gone? He's a unrestricted free agent right now. Seems like it's been reported that he's adding some weight to convert to tight end. So maybe he signs on like a vet minimum deal, minimal guarantees. He'll be on the roster bubble. I think ideally he's a guy that's on the practice squad and then is elevated if needed. I think that's where his role is at. But I imagine him and Adam Troutman, a few of these other guys that are going to be fighting for the last tight end spot on the roster coming into the year. So it's going to be fun. Mike Garafolo saying Kupp decision expected tonight. Holy moly. I might have to cancel my Buffs live stream here at 7 p.m. Mountain Time or end it. We'll see. Mic'd Up Live has a show tonight. This is going to be fun with Ben from Sports Talk Denver going up against D-Mac. This is going to be a lot of fun, guys. D-Mac, friend of the show. He's been on my Buffs podcast a couple times. One of my favorite radio guys. It's going to be on Mike's Mic'd Up show tonight. Be sure to take a look at that. I love it. Any other questions, guys? I'll go for a few more minutes. I was expecting to go for like 15 minutes, but you guys have been incredible. And we're here at 59 minutes. Just amazing. This is, it's been a tough week for me. So it really does mean a lot to have you guys on here talking Broncos with me. So let's see here. What else we got? Dick R. Shintanda, Bronco fan from the good old G. Let's ride, baby, like we have to say. Guten Fig sein Zoom Tibuten. I see us smacking some Mahomes next year. Much love, guys. Did I do that German pronunciation correctly? That was my first go at it. But yeah, let's go, baby. Like we're gonna give Mahomes absolute hell this year. And what's crazy is that in the top 4 rounds, if we drafted defensive linemen, my God, watch out. Watch out. Guys, we could still get interesting defensive lineman there with one of our 6th-round picks as well. I'm thrilled about this. I really am. And guys, I might have just made the argument that I've been going against for now. Maybe you do bring in Von Miller. But again, he's edge is in a position of need for us. He did have 6 sacks last year, which is still crazy. I might have just totally changed my opinion on bringing back Von Miller with how much I just spoke about Cooper Kupp. If he's willing to take close to a vet minimum, which I don't think he is. Brandon Perna. What about Brandon Perna? We got Brandon Perna in here. But Mike Up is having Brandon Perna on as well, which is going to be awesome. I love Brandon Perna. Good evening, David. Go Broncos. Hope we get Kupp on a 2-year deal, $12.2 million a year. I'm going to hold you to it. We're going to see. Chris Meek saying, I came to Denver with Manning. Been crazy about this team ever since. Indy is poison. Yes. And I mean, Daniel Jones, really, man? But yeah, that was awesome when we had a handful of Colts fans come out here, and a lot of them have stayed, including you, Chris. So that was wonderful. I'm glad you've been able to stick with us, even through the tougher years, because yeah, I mean, there was light at the end of the tunnel. We knew that was probably going to happen with the change of ownership, and I couldn't have thought of a better ownership group to succeed Pat Bowlen and his ownership group. It just seems like we haven't even missed a beat, but we just got Pat Bowlen that's worth $100 billion. It's awesome. Kupp probably fits Sean's system very well, and I am sure I'm not the first one to say that. So let's get busy. Absolutely. With the addition of Hufanga and Greenlaw, it's time to tune up the band for our defense. Yeah, let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. I want Vaughn to retire with us. Yes, I do too. The one thing that I've made an argument against Von Miller is like, I don't like to see my GOATs, my Hall of Fame favorite players, play washed up. We were kind of getting there with Peyton Manning there at the end, right? But his brain was not washed up. Von Miller is still a handful of years older than Cooper Kupp, but I think I just convinced myself that I'm much more open to that. Maybe Vaughn is that 5th edge. Any possibility the Broncos still trade up and select Tyler Warren and then select Deion Walker come day 2? I could still see us trading up. I definitely still could. Tyler Warren would be a lot of fun. Again, I still think we use a decent pick on tight end. But again, we could still wait till day 3. Get a guy like Arondé Gatson if we wanted to, right? Or Harold Fannin. I still really like Harold Fannin in the Evan Engram type role. I think he's a couple years away from being a little bit more of a well-rounded tight end. Look at the trajectory that Isaiah Likely went on. Very similar. That's kind of how I could see somebody like Harold Fannin developing if developed correctly. Because I was a big Isaiah Likely fan of him coming out of Coastal. Didn't run as fast as some expected, and I think that's why he fell to, I think, the 6th round, actually. But I wouldn't rule it out. I would not rule out a trade up for either Tyler Warren or Ashton Genty. Do you think Todd Davis will mentor Greenlaw on some schemes for coverage as a linebacker? I'm sure he's going to help. I know Greenlaw is also kind of like a coach on the field too. So I think our younger linebackers are really going to benefit as well. Lavelle Bailey, Drew Sanders, right? And guys, I did watch all of CJ Mosley's snaps last night. I can understand why some of you guys want him in there instead of Alex Singleton. I think I'd prefer to have Alex Singleton still here on some sort of deal, like regardless. But man, like I do like the way CJ Mosley plays, man. And it wasn't like he blew out his knee last year or anything like that. It was a neck injury, which, does scare me a little bit. I mean, Al Wilson retired due to a neck injury. But yeah, CJ Mosley, man, he plays with that kind of attitude that you like. And yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. But I think Todd Day is going to do a great job. I'm very happy for him. I'd like us to trade back for additional picks for Henderson or Judkins. Yes, we could trade back. I'll be happy. We could trade up. We could stay at 20, guys. Really, the only thing that's going to piss me off is if we draft like a corner or a quarterback or like we're not going to draft a tackle, but that would just make no sense. I would prefer us not to draft Gray Zabel at center, but could he be an upgrade over Wattenberg? Sure, but let's see how the continuity of having this starting five back another year. Like, remember, Cushenberry wasn't good until his contract year. I think Wattenberg can give us better play this year, as well as Forsyth. Him going into a second year. But it's we're at the point right now with the additions that we made that it's really going to take a lot for me to be upset with any particular picks. We can go generally best player available with, of course, keeping needs, contracts, all that in mind. We got options, and I think that's what's so fun. Quentin, so I've been trying to understand the hate on Alex Singleton, and I think it has to do a lot like this, because this is what I'll say. He's not the best athlete. Sometimes he does get burned because of that, but I do think he plays with really good instinct. I think that's one of his best assets or like features. He doesn't lay guys out and like, when he tackles them, a lot of times like the guy's like falling on top of them or he's dragging them down. So they get like yards, an additional yard or two. And he does that quite a bit. He's not the only linebacker to do it. Divine Diablo is a guy that does that a lot as well for the Raiders. And that was one of the reasons why like Raider fans weren't too mad seeing him go, honestly. But yeah, I think some of it has to do in which like how you see him bring guys down a lot. It's not exactly the best looking, more of a dragger type of guy, but I think he plays with great instinct. And you bring in a guy like Dre Greenlaw, who's going to be that ace there at the linebacker position there in passing down situations. You don't necessarily need to have him on the field, and he's not going to be the primary guy now going against some of these top target tight ends. It's going to be Dre Greenlaw, which I think is great. Hufanga is going to help out with that as well. And so I think he's probably in a better position right now, kind of being that, that second inside linebacker. But if we were to bring in a guy like CJ Mosley, I could totally understand it. He didn't play a ton of snaps, but Isaiah Simmons, man, this guy can fly. Even if we're just putting him in there in passing down situations, instead of a guy like Alex Singleton, Drew Sanders, Lavelle Bailey, Justin Strnad, like I can totally understand that. So yeah, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact, like when you see Trey Greenlaw make some hits, or you see like what I was watching yesterday, like CJ Mosley, or like the guy from the Cardinals that CU Andy has brought up, Kazmir White, I think is his name, or Kymir, something like that. He's from the Arizona Cardinals. He's a big thumper type, like. But I still think Alex Singleton, he plays with really good instinct. I still think I think he handles himself really well in terms of getting away from blockers and anticipation. I think he does those things really well. But yeah, just like he ain't. Trying to think of like some of the other amazing, like he's not Bobby Wagner, or like he's not like a physical specimen that you're like, wow, this guy's an incredible athlete. Yeah, he's from the Cardinals, man. There's some people that have brought him up. Kaiser White. I don't think he is signed anywhere. By the way, guys, Jack Sanborn was a guy that I brought up from the Bears as possibly being a signing, but I saw that he signed with the the Dallas Cowboys. Where's my PFF tab? Sorry, guys. Yeah, 6'2", 234 pounds, 29 years old. So let's say you move off of Alex Singleton for a guy like Kaiser White, you get a couple years younger. And again, I think because Alex Singleton is coming off that ACL, similar to Tim Patrick coming off of 2 back-to-back season-ending injuries going into his 30s, yeah, like it would be nice to have a revised contract for Alex Singleton somehow. But yeah, he was very good for the Cardinals in terms of like, when you look at the stats, PFF doesn't do half tackles. So take this with a grain of salt compared to like the ESPN stats. But you can see here 78, but like 120 something tackles, 73 overall grade in the run, but 32 in coverage. And from what I've seen is like, yeah, like you wouldn't, he's a 2-down linebacker. You wouldn't want to have him on there in 3rd down. And Alex Singleton is still quick enough to where, you can have him out there in 3rd down, especially with Dre Greenlaw now, and I think be okay. Yeah, he's got a nice size. No, all Diddy, man. All Diddy. Jeff B, bring on the cup. We would rock. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Tim Patrick balled out at the end of the year. Love to see it. Yeah, it seems like all the Jets fans really want him on the team because of them, bringing over some guys from the Lions staff. So I don't think he's signed yet. At least I don't know. So we'll have to monitor where he goes. But yeah, I'll always root for Tim Patrick as long as he's not on any division rival team. So guys, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Genuinely appreciate every single one of you. 687 people in here. Please be sure to smash that like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. If you're watching the replay, let me know your thoughts on all this. Do you want to see Cooper Kupp on the team? Yes or no? How much? Take care. Go Broncos.